Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is Awfully Silly, a game. Oh, it's going to be a long day. It is a show designed to bring in games that you might see on silly or awful blocks and main lines, and we're going to show them off on GDQ Hotfix. Today, Conception's not able to be here, so I will be your host. I'm Church and Sarge. Before we get into our games today, just a few quick reminders. GDQ 2025 will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 5th through 12th. Registration and hotel bookings are now open. You can go visit gamesonthequick.com and check the GDQ 2025 important dates chat section to learn more. And also the GDQ 2025 schedule is now out. You can go to gamesonthequick.com/schedule to check it out and let us know what you're most excited to see. Also, the new game submission period for games released after September 6th is now open, and that's open until Thursday, November 21st. So get those submissions in if you're looking to submit a new game. With all of that said, we have our first game here. It's Starship Titanic. I will hand it over to our runner. Let him introduce himself.
All right, hello everybody, hello. It is I, Casual Speedrun. Thank you guys, you guys are so nice in the chat. Do you like it? Do you like it? We had to go all out to bring you Starship Titanic. This game does not get enough love, it doesn't get what it deserves. Very obscure. For those of you who have ever heard of a little book or movie called A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the author of that actually helped create this game. He'll actually have a cameo at the very end. This game is sort of an answer to the question, what would happen if you combined A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with the cast of Monty Python? I'm not sure who came up with that crossover, but we're definitely here for it. This is a point-and-click adventure game, and we're going to be doing a lot of fast clicking, so I'll do my best to kind of explain everything as we go. Time is going to start on my first input here. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So first of all, we actually have to put the game disc into the computer, which I always get a huge kick out of. And then after that, well, as they do, a giant intergalactic starship is going to crash into our roof. Don't you hate it when that happens, guys? That could be one of those commercials like, does this ever happen to you? Isn't that just the worst? Okay, so the game has not frozen. We're actually just mashing a spacebar and click to get our dear friend here. Fentable is his name, one of the many robots serving aboard the Starship Titanic where there are no humans. That's what they need us for. Basically what's going on is, how can we put this? Something has gone terribly wrong on the maiden voyage of the Starship Titanic. Imagine that, right? They did say it would be too big to fail, but of course that is not the case. Something has gone indeed very wrong, and they're calling on us, a human being, to come sort it out because the robots can't do it themselves. Essentially what's going on is there was a plot underway to sabotage. Two of the three owners have actually decided to sabotage the Starship Titanic in order to get some insurance money. However, even that went terribly wrong. Not only were they, as one of my chatters in my Twitch channel says, unalived, and have essentially become props in the game, they also forgot to arm the bomb. So basically everything has gone wrong aboard the Starship Titanic, and so they're calling us aboard to fix it. Okay, as you can see, we actually type messages to the robots in the game, and that's how we're able to progress the plot in addition to actually solving puzzles. And we will be solving many, many puzzles. So hold on to your hats. He kind of fidgets there for a second and is looking at, if you can see on the right side of the screen, there's a little picture there of the starry night sky above our house. Perfect. Now we'll be able to find our way back home, right? Right. So with that, we are ready to board the Starship Titanic, but first we need to ride the elevator up. And that's what this first part of the game is just watching Fentable explain the plot of the game while we ride an elevator up into space. Don't at me with the physics, guys. Don't at me with the physics on that. I can't really vouch for it personally, but we are indeed riding an elevator up into space right now as soon as we press the button. But he's going to need us to do that in just a second once he stopped yapping.
Top button.
Top button.
Sorry, it's my cell point settings, you see. Well,
yes, you see, the robots are having a bit of a problem. As he says, we're all a little doolally, is what he says, and I can't wait to just use that word in my everyday dialogue. So yes, he's basically giving an overview of what's going on in the plot of the game. Like I said before, the ship has been sabotaged by 2 of the 3 owners. You can take a couple of guesses at who the 3rd owner is. We'll see him at the end of the game. But they were unsuccessful in half of their plot, which was scuttling, destroying the ship. The first half of their plot was very successful. They have scattered the many pieces of the AI in charge of the ship, which is called Titania. The name of the AI is Titania, and it takes the form of a blue woman, and we're going to assemble her many parts and put her back together so that she's complete, and we can actually send the Starship Titanic back out into space. We don't need that fixture to our home. The HOA is actually going to be kind of mad about that probably, so we're gonna need to send them on their way. And all of that's going to start once we reach the top. The speedrun will actually really pick up. There's a lot of really fast-paced action, so we're going to do our best to explain everything as we go. It all starts with pushing the button, and as he says, don't forget to push the button. Don't forget to push the button, Twitch chat. Don't forget to push that button.
I'm sure that nobody's in control. I'd better go down again to secure things, but I'll be back.
The HOA will be furious about this one.
I hope you understood most of that. For all
I mean, what aren't they furious about, though?
That's a good point, you know? First it was the reindeer I put out front for the holiday season, and now they're mad about this. You just can't win. All right. So now we've done this, we are going to talk to Marcinta, the lobby bot, now that we've activated everybody. And we are actually just going to spam Y, which is how you say yes in this game. Then we're going to type a bunch of seeming nonsense. We're going to want kazoo, Y, corner. We need to make sure we type everything right. Imperial. Oh, make sure we spell it right, guys. Spelling is very important on sweet. Okay, now we're going to get ready to write this down. Let's see what we got. This is random.
To Supergalactic Traveler Class, Elevator 3.
Elevator 3.
Floor 31.
31.
12. And don't come
12. Oof, that's rough. Okay, so we actually got a... Elevator 3 is good, but we actually got really rough RNG for the room. So it's going to take us a second to find our room, which is fine. We will find it. This is the Bellbot. We kind of have to listen to him yap too. We just want to get this show on the road. Actually, because we're not second or first class on the ship, he basically tells us to take a hike. So, yeah. He says you can find your own way to your room. And we don't have any bags. They basically abducted us from our home. So we don't have any bags, guys. Now, stick with me here. We are going to abduct a parrot, take a stick, smash a TV. Well, you'll see all that right now. So let's just grab that parrot. We're going to call the Bellbot and have him smash this TV for us since we can't do it ourselves. Smash TV. Give him a second. Okay, there we go. A little too early. There we go.
You bet.
Smash the ship. Smash the ship. Smash the ship. Bellbots are bad. Oh, boy. That never gets old. And of course, the parrot is just screeching his head off in the background. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're on top of it. Did we just steal a parrot? This could be the case. It doesn't actually let us take him out of the room. We'll be stealing him again in short time, and you'll see how we manage that. All we get is this feather here for the time being, and that's all we're gonna need, actually. So we're gonna grab this stick and go ahead and leave now. Actually, before we go, I'm going to grab this. That's an address marker for this room. We're going to need that soon. So let's see, we got elevator 3. Cool. Elevator 3 is pretty decent RNG. The room is a little rough. Actually, let's check to see if elevator 4 is functional. That's okay. If we got extremely lucky, elevator 4 would be available to us. That is like absurd luck. That's only happened to me twice. That we could actually have like done world record right here if that was the case. Still could be. We got elevator 3, which is really good for our third class cabin. So we'll see what we get for our second class cabin, and that's going to basically determine our pace. And it is random, of course. So now we're heading down to check out our room. I'm going to have to take a second and figure out. Let's see, room 12. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to want to come over here. This should be it. Let's just double check. It should. Yep, there we go. Oh, we won! Guys, we won! We won! All right, so we're actually going to deploy all of these little tightly packed furnitures. And the reason we're doing this is so that we can pull out the bed and that it actually has something to be supported on. And we need the bed because how else are we going to watch TV? Am I right? Who's watching this in bed right now? Not me, but Probably the next runs I will be. So we're going to change this to channel 3, and it's going to tell us what we already know. We won! What did we win? We won a free room upgrade, guys, and that's how we progress the plot. So, well, that was easy. That was fast. We've already progressed the plot. We're going to move on and take a second-class cabin now. Oh, get me out of here.
I'm going to be real with you. Getting upgraded after you've already unpacked is not good. No,
it's not.
I've already unpacked.
All right, well, this is the mail system in the game. Delivers things from different parts of the ship. And that's going to give us a magazine that we're going to show to the lobby bot. And that's all we need. That's all the proof we need to say that we 100% deserve an upgrade. Okay, we're now going down to the bottom of the well. That is floor 39. The reason we're going down here is to grab just a few endgame items. This TV that we smashed, of course, naturally. Why smash the TV if you're not going to turn it into a lovely cocktail for a nice little drinky poo at the end of the day? That is actually what happens with the TV. As for the head, that'll come in later. So we're going to head on back up. Now we are going to pass through the lobby once again, but before we redeem that magazine for an upgraded room, we are actually going to go down into the bilge room where the central mail processor resides, and we're going to take that parrot's feather and do something very, very special with it. We're going to tickle the mail processor until it sneezes out one of the conspirators. Again, stay with me here. Oh, we are on the wrong side. That's okay. You'll see in this game, it's really easy to get turned around because some different parts of the ship essentially look identical. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to head down into the bilge room.
Going down.
Now, one of the conspirators, as I just mentioned, Brobostagon is his name. Brobostagon was unfortunately unalived before he was able to escape from the ship and proceed with his plan, which was utterly flawed. They forgot to arm the bomb. Nothing went according to plan, essentially. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to send a feather. Feathers make me sneeze. Oh, no! Achoo! And here it comes. Brobostagon is now essentially just a prop, and we're going to take 2 items from him. Thank you, Brobostagon, for your help. And we're going to head right back up to the lobby. Head right back on up to the lobby, and we're going to give that magazine to Marcinta, the lobby bot, and with that, we're just going to be able to upgrade. Bless you, thank you. Okay, now let's talk to Marcinta, give this right away, and now we just want to mash on out of here.
Yes, you can ring
Okay,
my
we've got
bell
elevator
anytime.
1, let's see, floor 20, room 2, 20, room 2. Okay. We're gonna grab the parrot once again. Turn this guy on. I shall screech. Send it to my room. Yes, we are sending the parrot. That is correct. And that's how we steal the parrot. I believe that was floor 20, room 2. Is that right?
It's there.
It's there. All right. We're good to go. That means we just head on down. We're going to go into... Oh, a little too far there. We're going to go down elevator 1, which is unfortunate RNG. We actually don't want elevator 1 at all. There we go. Let's call it. All right. Now we have to wait for the elevator to come up, and we are going to head on down to...
Hello, sir.
I'm just gonna say my room. I'm pretty sure it's 20. 20. Okay. And that is room 2. All right, perfect. So once we get to room 2, we are going to find the mailbot for that specific room. And let me see. So okay. So we want this one. All right. Activate this guy. Oh, there we go. Receive, and he's going to sneeze out that poor parrot. Sorry. Sorry. He's given us the oh, excuse me.
Come one at a time.
There we go. Release the parrot and shake this bowl of pistachio nuts, because we can't just tip the bowl over. We actually need the parrot to eat them all, and we're going to collect one of Titania's pieces once he does. Can't keep a good parrot down, but you especially can't keep a bad parrot down. That's right. Squawk. All right. Now that we've grabbed one of Titania's ears, we're going to watch a little TV. That's right, just a little bit of TV. All right. Channel 5, this should tell us what floor 27. Okay, good. Nice and standard. Nothing fancy.
What's the brain? Now, chickens.
All right, so we're gonna wanna
Hello, sir.
head all the way back up.
Of the well.
We're gonna head back up, and then we're going to go into a different elevator and then take that down to floor 27. We have to take elevator 3 because that's the one that paired with 4, which is the one that's broken. So yeah, just RNG. We're going to adjust a few little statues here. These control the personalities of the robots. I think we're going to want to, for Marcinta, adjust both of these. And for this guy, we're going to just adjust that one. Okay, now everybody should be willing to work with us here. We're going to take elevator 3. Take elevator 3 down to floor 27.
Floor 27.
Threw an extra 7 in there for you guys. All right, now that we're going down to floor 27, we are going to be able to use that creepy head that we picked up at the very bottom of the well and get one of Titania's pieces in return. And it has to be elevator 3. That's the only one that's paired with 4. And now that we're on this floor, we can do this.
Oh, blimey.
And now we're going to take...
Step me vitals and pick
Actually,
me up.
no, we're
That's
going to
an awful
want
hit from
to... No, we may as well just take this one, actually. I was thinking we could do something, but actually because of our elevator loadout, we are not able to do a little sneaky trick, which is totally fine. All right, we already grabbed the parrot room ID. I'm just going to make 100% sure that we have that so we don't have a problem later. Okay, good. Parrot lobby. All right, and with that, we can actually, we've got the eye. I am going to go talk to Marcinta once more. And this time we are simply just going to say upgrade once she talks to us. There we go. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. We're going to ignore that room. We actually don't need that at all. Let me see. We're going to go change the fuses. Head on down into this part of the ship. Something very creepy and horrible lives down here. Feel free to ignore that. This is, in fact, the room where Titania, the AI, resides. And if you sense something is terribly wrong in this room, you would definitely be right. Actually, let's go back in there. We need to power this on and then remove this. Okay, there we go. That will come in handy in just a minute here. Now let's head on back up to the main deck. We're going to take this, the Pellerator, into the promenade, where we will put that fuse that we just activated to use. Now what we've just done is powered on a giant ventilator fan. We've removed the fuse so that it's stuck being on. Don't at me with the physics again, guys. I don't think that's how it works, but oh well. We're here for it. We're rolling with it anyway. So we're going to activate this ventilator and essentially turn a bunch of these poor birds into a delicious paste that will come in handy also later on when we feed the parrot a chicken. Very, very important. We'll be using this purple paste. Yes, I know. Very sad, very sad. I said don't at me with the physics. I see you. I see you down there. My physics, no! Yes, I know. You know what? Un-Newtonians your physics. All right. Now that we've done that, we can simply poke this and then poke it again with a stick. And what does that do? But opens up a big portal into another dimension where a hammer resides. Perfect. It's a gift for you, Twitch chat. I got you a hammer. Happy holidays. It's what I always wanted.
Music room.
All right, we are now in the music room where we get to solve, you guessed it, the music puzzle. All right, let me focus here. This is actually really finicky. So let's see, we're going to want to set this to minimum. Set this one also to minimum. We're going to change this, set this to max, second degree. That is third, and change this one, third. That should be good. Now we can actually double check that. What we're going to do here is hit record, go back out over here. Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to stop this and then hit record. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now this should be right. Let's see. Sounds right? Okay. Good. Now what we can do, we actually don't need to finish recording. We can simply pull this out of here and then look away real quick. And there we go. It's Titania's ear. Pogger. We're just finding pieces everywhere. This is easy, guys. All right, now we're gonna head to the bar. It's been a long day, and we're actually just gonna grab an empty glass. We're not actually gonna do anything except for meet my favorite character in the game, Fortillion Banterburn O'Perfluous, at your service. The best. Yeah, we're just gonna grab this glass and say, see you later, Fortillion. Bye-bye. That's it. Oops, goodbye. Yes, now we are going to head to the restaurant. Have you guys ever seen an open table at a restaurant, but the maitre d' tells you there isn't one? Well, we're going to get those frustrations out right now. We are, in fact, coming up on the only combat segment of the game. Hooray! We're going to fight the maitre d', because there is a table available. There aren't any humans on the ship except for us, but he tells us there's not a seat available in the house. Not to call the man a liar, but we're definitely going to fight him over that. And so, how are we going to fight him, Casual? I'll tell you guys. We're, of course, going to poke him in his buttock.
I must say, Shodan is
yes, but first we need to reach over here and grab this arm, and then poke him.
The music I must
there we go.
for. It is
poke him, and poke him again, and this is literally the fight, and it is random how long this takes, so settle in. I got a really fast one. I actually golded in practice earlier, so let's see if that carries over now. Okay.
And now I will fight you.
I told you. I told you guys. But here it is, just in case you didn't believe me. We are, in fact, just poking his Achilles buttock, as he refers to. You must not prod me there.
If you will prod my Achilles, and now I will fight you.
Is there a reason you're turning away every time?
Yes, it's actually to speed it up, so that way we're able to just turn and prod him immediately again. Okay, he needed to like chill for a second before we can grab all this stuff. Okay, this is actually one of the other conspirators in the game, so there he is. Villanovas is his name, he's just a prop now. Don't commit insurance fraud, guys. That's the moral of this story. So we're going to stop this music because the maitre d' doesn't really like it. And we're just going to put in the music that we played because he's going to like that very much. Now let's see. This should be, it sounds like the right one. Perfect. Okay, so those arms that we grabbed, he actually lets go. Those arms let go of the objects. Not only do we need the objects to be let go of, we also actually need the arms themselves to be empty-handed, and that will come in late. That will come in handy. Get it? That will come in handy at the very end of the run. All right. So now we are heading over to the Arboretum, but we can't really interact with that yet. This is very confusing, I know. Yes. We're going to nice and slowly wait for this to open. We can actually bug out the game really bad if we rush that, so we're just going to be nice and slow. All right. Now, these are some opera singing night boats. I couldn't tell you, so don't ask. Now we are going to, let's see, now we need to go and put in the fuses. We're going to head back down into the fuse room. Something horrible lives down here, yada yada. Okay, now we're going to put in the green Arboretum fuse, activate that, and leave. Same as before, we are free to simply leave now. Head back up onto the main deck. And I think we want to, let me see, we're actually going to take elevator 2 down so that we can get this light. We're going to call on our friend Craig the Bellbot once again.
Morning, sir.
And we're going to go down to floor 7.
Welcome.
Okay.
Floor, sir.
Thank you. Now we're going to just take a little left here. End of the room. This should be our room here. Not the room we were assigned. We actually just ignore that completely. Perfect. That's the room we're looking for. Okay. We're just looking to break that light loose. So I'm just going to tell him, get light. He's going to say no.
Can do.
No can do, but then he gets it anyway. What a Chad. Let's hear it for Craig the Bellbot. I don't know why he bothers saying no can do, but then he just does it anyway. I love this game.
He has to do it on his terms, not your terms.
Yes, exactly. He's saying, yes, I'll do it, but not because you told me to. So we're actually going to want to take elevator 1 for this part. head on down to floor
Hello,
28.
sir. I was just floor
Perfect.
28 at your service, sir.
Okay. Floor 28. Now we're gonna do a little stick and chicken. We're gonna grab a stick and we're gonna grab a chicken. What do we do with these things? The stick we're gonna use to free a lemon from a tree. That's fine. It's a communal lemon tree. It's fine. The chicken, that's a little more complicated of a story. I'm gonna grab this stick here. Perfect. Optimal stick. Let's go. So now let's grab ourselves a chicken. This part's actually really risky. So what I'm gonna do here is just grab these things, put them in the inventory so they're at the very back of the inventory, which is where we want them. Now we're going to summon the chicken. Ba-ba-ba, let's go, we got a chicken. All right, now we're gonna get some of this purple juice. As you do, we're going to wipe off the grease from this chicken and place it, hopefully, perfect. Okay, mustard. Good. This game is so finicky. You can actually like soft lock yourself here. I have a safety save, don't worry. But the chicken is the most finicky thing in this game by far. It's actually kind of crazy how prone to failure it is, considering it is necessary for the plot. So we're going to send it.
Okay.
There we go.
Here we go.
The reason we coat it in the reason we coat the chicken in mustard is because this guy hates mustard. And so he won't eat it. Otherwise, he will literally just eat it, and we just have to make a new chicken. Or you can get soft lock, which also happens, because this game is good.
Again, sir. Can't keep it.
Okay.
Sir. Top of the wheel it is.
Perfect. We've got our chicken sent to the parrot room. We've got our stick in the inventory. We are ready to go. We cannot misclick even once. If we do, we will lose the chicken. It will become a cold chicken, and parrots hate cold chicken. This is a fact of life. So we need the chicken to still be hot when we get there. So we need to be very careful not to misclick here. So I'm just going to be nice and gentle with it. Nice and gentle. Okay. Now receive. And what do we receive but a nice hot chicken coated in mustard? Parrot doesn't like mustard either. So what we're going to do, give me that. What we're going to do about that is just wipe it off. Easy. Now take one step over to the parrot here.
What's the... Oh, chicken!
Ooh, chicken! This is probably my favorite part of the run, except when we go back to the bar, that's my real favorite part. There we go. Okay, and we've just got a piece from Titania. Perfect! Okay, activate this gamer. Now we feed him the hose. Now we're going to feed the other end of the hose into here. This one's also really finicky. Okay, there we go. You have to, like, some of the things in this game, you have to place it on, like, there's like a 3 or 4 pixel range. I'm not kidding. Like a really, really skinny range. Otherwise, you just cannot, like, get the thing to work the way you want to. Actually, we're going to go this way over to the Arboretum. It's faster if we just take the opera boat. Why is it an opera boat? Now we're going to free one of these lemons. Perfect. That was a fast lemon. Let's go. And then we're going to change it to Autumn, where we can now free one of Titania's pieces, one of her central processing unit components. And then we are going to turn it to Winter so it's nice and frozen. And the reason for that is that we can access one of the opera singing boats who's hiding one of the very last components here. And this is what we needed those arms for. Got a little tired of that song. There we go. And that is Titania's mouth. Now we're going to, it's a little chilly in here. I'm actually going to raise the temperature again back to spring. Ah, the cycle of the seasons. A beautiful thing, isn't it? I live in Phoenix, Arizona, so I wouldn't really know much about that. We only get summer and winter. Or I guess you could say summer and not summer, rather. So we're actually going to take the Pellerator. There we go. Yes. Now we are heading into my very favorite part of the speed run, my very favorite thing. It is unskippable. Thank goodness. May that never change. We get to watch a little segment that in my splits is called The Shining. You'll see why in just a second. It bears an uncanny resemblance to one of my favorite horror movies, a certain scene. Or, well, a combination of scenes, I suppose. We're going to go ahead and give Fortillion here a nice little drink for him to enjoy after a nice long ride in the Pellerator.
Kindly behave themselves on the journey.
No comedy, please. I'm looking at you guys. No comedy down there. All right?
The bar
Yeah, in Phoenix, we basically just get, as Dane said, Summer and Summer 2 is essentially what we get. I'm actually going to make a safety save right here. It doesn't matter what it's called. All right, there we go. Now we're going to give him this little glass. Actually, let's give, in order, I guess we can give him the TV.
I see you're no slouch when it comes to casual violence.
Then we're going to give him a lemon. Lemon.
The cocktail garnish with a hint of lemon.
Give him that, and then type Starling.
Sadly, I rather suspect.
Perfect, okay. Now we're gonna ask him to put vodka. Spot on. Okay, and now we get to watch him create the drink, and then, see, Fortillian's actually not a very good bartender. He makes the drink for us with ingredients we provided at our order, but then he just drinks it himself. So he's actually a terrible bartender, but still my favorite character in the game. And now we get to watch him basically just go ham for like 30 seconds.
I'm getting pulled with my feet. Got anything that'll knock him from my feet?
This is good stuff.
This is good stuff.
Yes.
And all of this is so that we can get this little item right here, which we're actually gonna
Love it.
type in here. Just typing G, G, G until he settles down.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, yeah. Gimme, 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 gimme.
This segment never gets old. Reverse bartender, yeah. Okay, get vision. There we go. So we have to wait for him to settle down, essentially. Get his zoomies out, and then we can get him to give us this thing. Actually, if you try to grab it yourself, the game's response is hilarious. It literally just says, it would be nice if you could grab that yourself, but you can't. So, yeah, I always get a huge kick out of that. So we're going to head on back. We're just going to head on back to the main part of the ship. We now have all of Titania's pieces. We are coming up on time here. Pretty decent run, actually, considering we got less than optimal elevator RNG.
Mind the door.
Okay, now let's go ahead and install all of the pieces in Titania and get this show on the road. You know what? We're running ahead of estimate here. Would you guys like a little bad ending action?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, see, the conspirators completely forgot to arm the bomb. This will be a very big explosion, so please stand back. Now we're going to go up, go back down, and now we're going to assemble Titania. Easy as that. Now let's get our pieces ready here.
98.
Oh, that countdown. I'm sure that's nothing. Go ahead and just put all the pieces in here. Oh, get in there. Little eyeball, eyeball, ear, ear. Now let's see, we want, I believe it's blue. See, like the pixels, man. The pixels, get in there. Come on. You can do it. Get in there. Oh, he just does not want to, it just does not want to. Oh, I'm using the wrong one. That's why. That's actually a fuse. My mistake. So this is the red. This one is the green. And this one is the yellow. Now we just need... Take that out and put it back in. That should be all of the pieces here. Oh, it didn't accept the core processor. That's why. Okay, there we go. And that's that.
I'd say it's been nice now you.
Only it hasn't. It's one of my favorite lines in the game. I'd say it's been nice knowing you. Only it hasn't. Yeah, stay tuned for more bad endings, guys. We've got it. There's a big lineup tonight, so yeah, definitely stick around. We are coming up on time in just about 2 minutes here. This is unskippable. This is Titania, of course. Nightmare fuel. I'm sure you will agree. You can actually hear the countdown happening in the background, which I find so funny. You can hear the countdown for destroying the ship in the background. I mean, activating the bad ending. That's what I meant. We would never destroy this ship. I love the parrot far too much. I'm definitely not mad or retributive towards the parrot for killing so many of my runs. It's so incredibly finicky, the chicken. It's hard to explain unless you've seen it go wrong. But basically, if the chicken turns cold, he won't accept it. If you accidentally place it literally like outside of a little 4-pixel range, it will go to the wrong sauce, the purple sauce, and then everything is ruined. The chicken's pretty brutal, guys. But yes, stay tuned. We are coming up on time, and we will actually get a very, very nice cameo from Douglas Adams himself, the author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the writer of this game, the plot, the dialogue. And yes, of course, this was a joint effort between him and the cast of Monty Python, so I hope you have enjoyed this. Oh, get me out of here.
46.
It gives me premonitions of doom.
I don't like doom. Ah. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn this thing on. There's actually a puzzle we can do here, but for the sake of the speedrun, we're not gonna do it. All right, time is coming up in 3, 2, 1, and that's time.
GG.
Thank you. And yes, indeed, that is John Cleese. If you recognize some of the voices, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. It is Monty Python. And look at that, guys. We made it. We finished. We have sent the Starship Titanic back to our home so that we can get off and we can send them back out into outer space. And of course, we're going to get to enjoy a little bad ending action here after some words from Douglas Adams himself.
You probably know that. I'm sorry about what's happened to you. I'm even more sorry about what's happened to me. You have lost a house.
Thanks for GG's, guys.
I have lost a life.
Thanks for watching.
A dream. You may not care about my life and my dream. Well, I don't really care.
He doesn't really care about our house. It is what it is. Don't forget to drink water, by the way, guys. We got a long show coming up tonight, so don't forget to drink water.
Good woman, and also.
At least he's honest about not caring about your house.
Thank you for restoring.
Really, I mean, the house has played a spectacularly small role in the grand scheme of things.
Which is not really real, if you see what I mean. So, to be honest, I'm more inclined to place.
Yeah, this was a pretty decent run considering the elevator RNG we got. I'm totally satisfied with it. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching just as much as I have enjoyed putting the run on. Very happy to be able to show you guys Starship Titanic. Of course, most have not even heard of this game because it really ran under the radar. Gee, I wonder why. But yeah, fantastic video game. Highly, highly recommend it casually. And the speedrun really doesn't spoil that much, I promise. You can totally still play this fresh without knowing anything about what's going on, and you'll still be able to like figure everything out for yourself. Now let's see the Starship Titanic take off. Okay, I thought it was frozen for a second. There we go. Okay. Thank you, guys. Yes, don't forget to drink water. Don't forget to drink water. And stick around. CC is up next with Déjà Vu. Big show for you guys tonight. But yes, I have been Casual Speedrun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here it is, our hard-earned bad ending to the game, because we just love the parrot that much. I love that the parrot has kept me from so many sub-30s, has always kept me from sub-29. So this is how we reward the parrot for his tireless effort and comedy. Goodbye. All right. And that brings us to the end. Thank you guys again for watching. And thank you to everybody who put this on. Church and Sarge, thank you so much for stepping in and, you know, taking control of the show for tonight. Shout out to Conception, who had invited me to come on. Thank you to GDQ in general for having me back on again and for letting me showcase this game. Doesn't get enough love. Try out the game, guys. Try out the game. Once again, I've been Casual Speedrun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
And thank you so much for being on. It was absolutely a wild ride. What a great speedrun. I'm not really sure I understood what happened, but...
Who did? I mean, honestly...
Make sure you give Casual a follow, and everybody else is going to show up. We've got a great lineup of speedrunners for you tonight, so make sure you follow everybody we're going to have on. Thank you again, Casual.
Thank you guys. My pleasure, my pleasure.
And like you said, we do have more runs coming up for you. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Déjà Vu in just a moment. Before we go, just a quick reminder, GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, will be live from March 9th through 16th. Submissions are open now. until the end of Sunday, November 24th. You can go to gamezonequick.com/frankpitals for more information. That said, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. So this is awfully silly, and coming up next, we have Déjà Vu. Just before we jump into it, a quick reminder: you can join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs of upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. You can use !Discord in Twitch chat for more information. That said, we have Déjà Vu here. I'll hand it over to our runner. Let her introduce herself.
I am Cece, and if this run seems familiar, it's because it's Déjà Vu for the NES. So, little bit of a preface. So, fortunately, it's at the front of the run, but there is 4 minutes of solid RNG manipulation. So, if it seems like I am in sweaty gamer mode for the next 4 minutes, it is because I am. I will do my best to give you an idea of what all is going on. I'm going to give us a countdown in a 3, a 2, a 1, and video games. Okay, so we're waking up in a bathroom stall. We can't remember who we are or anything about our life. And also, we've noticed that we've had bad things happen to us, and we've been framed for murder. So, bad
As
day.
you do. As you do.
We're going to open this up, open this wallet, and take a couple of key items out here, namely a key and a card. Also, literally every button press I'm doing right now is RNG manipulation. All right, we're going to grab this coat, mostly so we can get this gun behind it. The gun is mostly good for lateral thinking purposes because there are a lot of locks in this game. Okay, there is a mandatory look at yourself in the mirror and not recognize who you are. Cool. Get out of the bathroom. And we're going to go out into the bar area. The door. Up the hallway, and now we're in the hallway of existential crisis where we see all these photos of boxers and feel a way about it. That's because we're one of the boxers. Okay. Right, this is where we get introduced to the game's address mechanic. So we're going to open this desk and open this envelope. The envelope contains a bill. The bill is for a bunch of medication. Now, we don't need to take the bill, we just need to examine it. And that is going to give us an address that we'll memorize in our eidetic detective memory. And we're going to give that address to a tabulator so we can go to that location. Now we're going to use the key in our inventory. On that door over there, you can do that on the mini-map, which is kind of cool. Also, don't you dare use move in the mini-map to go into that door because we're still doing RNG manipulation this whole time and you will rip the run. Okay, so this guy's having a bad day. Going to go ahead and, like an extremely innocent person, loot his body. Take this key. And one more key from the desk. And again, like an extremely innocent person, we're going to jump out the window onto the fire escape. With the best flavor text in the game, you're on a fire escape. When there's a fire, you use it to escape. Okay, now we're going to jump into the building through the window to the weird room. The protagonist calls it weird. My copy of Nintendo Power called it weird. So, weird room. We're going to take this medicine, and we're going to do something I would never recommend in real life, which is in this weird medical room, we're going to open the wastebasket, and we're going to take some capsule out of it because we just get the impression they'll be useful later, which they are, but... Okay, we're going to hit the call button on the elevator because it's a little bit faster to hit it instead of using it. And once again. And this elevator is going to go all the way down to the sewers for reasons. So we're going to go through the sewer tunnel. We're going to go up the ladder. And you may recall RNG manipulation this entire time. What do you think the RNG manipulation's for? Just take a wild guess. Oh, no. So, I done goofed. Looks like I did not take coins. Oh, okay. So this is a complete and utter tragedy, but we're going to have a moment of zen. We are going to load the safety save that we made for this exact purpose. This is also going to give me an opportunity to tell you the fun fact that we come in here, we do really cool RNG manipulation, we get a bunch of grapes, we get 24 coins. Now, the reason that I did not make a safety save wherein we stop right before we do the RNG manipulation, and then I pull the slot machine, and then we get all the grapes, and then I still get to feel kind of cool, is because using the save command also counts as a move to advance the RNG. So if you did that, the game still wouldn't be in the same state, and you wouldn't get the effect. So, oh well, that's still not the coolest trick in this game anymore, so I'm not too mad about it. All right, we're going to go out to the street. The street has a lot of RNG effects out here. There are a lot of encounters you can run into, but it all still runs off of the same cycle. So if you are an absolute pro at running this game, then you can use the same manipulation to not run into bad guys. We're going to open up the dashboard and take a look at a couple of things. Also, if you're wondering why we don't try to use this automobile, just think of every time you've seen a car in a mobster movie, you'll get the idea. We're going to look at this map, which has detailed instructions on, oh, hey, Ace Harding, this is how you do this crime that you definitely did. We did not do the crime. So we don't want that to exist out in the world, so we're going to take that. And then we are going to be on our merry way. Okay, going to run down the street. This is indeed not the best time to be brushing up on current events. And here is our best friend for the next 15 minutes. It's Blue Cabbie. Blue Cabbie is going to take us everywhere we need to go. So first thing we need to do is go to the West End Apartments, the least interesting location in the game. Here's why. Okay, again, what we needed all those coins for: pay off the cabbie, toss a coin to your cabbie. Go to the expensive-looking Stanford Arms Apartments. Card in the slot. Up into the elevator. Once again, card in the slot. And that will take us up to this penthouse. The sole purpose of us coming up here is so we can look at this one photo, get the address off of it, and leave. Card, slot. Okay. Now we are going to go to a funky little shack, Kedzie, which is where the lady in that photo we looked at presumably resides. Kedzie is going to have a couple of key pieces of evidence for us. And a key we need to get into the spiciest location, Sherman. Okay, so if you've ever been in a game where you think, oh, this adventure game encourages lateral thinking, but why can't I just bash in this locked door with violence? You get to use the gun in this one. It feels good. The lock is now gone, so we'll go inside. Pop open the drawer. Drawer's got a couple of things. We're going to need this key, and there's a diary. The diary is, well, today I framed Ace Harding Private Eye, and I felt a way about it, or something like that, which is why we're interested. We're also going to take this note off of the desk. This note off of the desk is a safe combination. Don't take that note. That note is the wrong note. All right. And now we go to... we're going to Flavortown. It's Sherman. It's the star of the show. there are two very important locations inside Sherman. There are the doctor's offices, and then there is Ace Harding's office, which you'll recall is our office. So, again, well, ironically, as you may recall, we have amnesia, and you can't win the game if you still have amnesia, because that's kind of a loose end that needs to be wrapped up. So, gonna go ahead, pop open the door to Dr. Brody's office, and like any good doctor's office, it is full to the brim with anti-amnesia medication, or specifically medication 6. In a normal playthrough, we would have read some notes and figured out what all this medicine does, which is generally super important before you take medicine. But we already have the benefit of knowing, so we are going to use medicine 6 on those questionable trash capsules. And then we are going to use the capsules on ourselves, because we have a cool little self command in the bottom right corner. And so now our memories coming back. We remember Catholic school. Like, okay, cool. Childhood's coming back. Little more medicine 6. And now for everybody's favorite memory, it's Taco the dog. They bit us that one time, but they're still a very good boy. Okay, and now one more dose of bisodium. And we remember Susie Q, our first kiss. And through the power of love, logically from Susie Q, we remember that we're Ace Harding Private Eye. It's all coming together. And we are so happy and full of the power of love that we arbitrarily shoot this filing cabinet.
Look, that filing cabinet had it coming.
Yes. Also, so you might expect us to loot the filing cabinet. We're actually going to completely leave it alone. Apparently, you just do that so the cops can come get into it later. Anyways, now we're going to go upstairs to our office. Okay, so there's a little piece of the game where there's a guy on the street who stops you and says, hey, if you pay me money, I'll give you a hot tip that could save your life. And the hot tip that could save your life is that this guy is in your office and is waiting to do bad things to you. But we know that, so we're going to be a little bit proactive. Okay, and now we will open the door and we will enter a normal and fine room. It doesn't like it when you use it in the middle of the door. There we go. We are going to enter a normal and fine room without any hilarious flavor text. Okay. All right, so this is where the new route gets hecka interesting. So we have to examine file 5. It's like everything that's bad evidence in this game, we have to make sure we examine first so we know it says, hey, you did a crime that you didn't do. So that was more crime instructions. Presumably that gentleman was putting them in our filing cabinet for us. And we're also going to take file 6. Taking file 6 is super important, not because of anything actually about file 6, but because the cool glitch that we're going to do in a second deletes whatever is in that spot in our inventory, or at the very least, leaves it in a place where we can't really take it. And if that happens to file 5, it still kind of counts file 5 as existing out in the world for the police to find, and you can never ever clear your name. That's bad. Okay. So now, apparently our best friend of the universe, trash capsules, they're coming in clutch. Now, you may recall that we took the medicine to cure our amnesia, and we took it before we used it on the capsules. What the devs didn't account for is that you can, in fact, just use the capsules on the medication on the shelf, and that makes the game a little hecky-wecky. So if I do this action on the mini-map, suddenly we're back in the toilet stall from the beginning of the game. Interesting. And this used to be where this stopped, because you weren't able to do this on hardware. Now, I am doing this on my actual Nintendo cartridge, and we can make the magic happen by kind of resetting the game state. So the stuff we just put in the capsules, it's medication for if you've been hit with nerve gas, and if you haven't been hit with nerve gas, it doesn't help you very much. But if we do that, then we come back here, and you will notice that all the medication is gone from the shelf. And you will notice that if I come over here on the mini-map, what do I think I'm doing? I'm trying to open a door. There we go. We open the door. You know, the door in front of that apartment at the beginning of the game that wasn't particularly interesting. Yeah. So now that we're here, we move on the mini-map to a location again, and we teleport to the mansion we never got an address for. All right. So we're going to go into this bedroom. We only need one thing from the bedroom. We're going to pop open the door behind us because we never actually walked in here. We're going to open the nightstand. Now, if you've ever done that thing where you like have a piece of paper that somebody wrote something on top of and took the piece of paper off, and then like you rub a pencil on it and it shows what was written on top of it. That memo is the memo where somebody wrote down, here is our intricate plan for framing Ace Harding, and, you know, like signature and like notarized and stuff. So we definitely need that. Okay. Gonna open the mailbox. Open the envelope. And examine this. And this letter is the actual ransom letter for actual crimes. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. And lo and behold, our pal Blue Cabby, with their finger on the pulse of all the happenings in Chicago, just kind of knew we teleported here. So, thanks, buddy. All right, we're going to go back to Peoria, which is the beginning of the game area. Let's see. You know what? Feeling generous today. It's a little bit faster to stiff them. We'll go ahead and toss a coin to our Cabby. Thanks, man. Okay. Now, run back down the street and tie up one singular loose end. We need to get into the safe that was in the room with the murder victim. Just a little backtracking. And here we are. So, use note 3 on the safe. And there's a folder. We open the folder. And there's the note. And what is the note? It's an IOU saying that we owed that guy money. It's bad for us. So we're going to go ahead and take that. And once again, like the most innocent person in the world, we're going to jump out on the fire escape. And like an even more innocent person, we're going to go into the sewer. Normal and fine. Okay. What are we doing in the sewer? Normal detective activities. Sewer. All right. So what are we doing in the sewer? In the deepest part of the sewer? So there's a leave command. The leave command lets you ditch stuff that you don't necessarily want or isn't useful. It's in a lot of games. But specifically in this one, you know, we have this gun, the murder weapon with our fingerprints on it. It's deepest part of the sewer. Let's see, this map that has all the 2 Ace Harding kidnapping instructions. Deepest part of the sewer. The file that's more of that jazz. Deepest part of the sewer. The IOU to the dead guy. Oh, you better believe. Deepest part of the sewer. Okay, so now we've got our evidence all in a row. We've got ourselves collected. So now we just kind of hope that nothing terrible happens when we try to go to the police, like this. How are we on time?
18 minutes.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to info dump a tiny bit because it's fun. So this woman, see, myself, I'm a frame fatale. This is a femme fatale. you don't have to be a master of Latin roots to know what that means. So there is an 8-bit adventure anthology on Steam where you can get this game and 2 other classics, Shadowgate and Uninvited. It has a figure from each on the art. It has a skeleton woman from Uninvited. It has the Grim Reaper from Shadowgate. And it has this woman from Déjà Vu, because she will, in fact, shoot you completely unprovoked. Yeah, she's bad news. So, former boxer. Wouldn't advise standing here much longer. Okay, so, again, like the most innocent person in the world, we're going to run down the street and into the police station. And Ace Clear's name! Yeah! Okay, time is going to be when the end comes up on the screen. It's still a little bit. But before we get to the end, congratulations, everyone! You are all certified by the Ace Harding School of Investigation to be private eyes. And coming up... time!
BG.
Thank you.
I feel like there's a little bit of unresolved, like, there was this person you shot, like, what happened to that?
Yeah, it just glosses over... There are many unanswered questions about Déjà Vu. Perhaps not completely devoid of plot holes, but a game that I still hold close in my heart.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It is. Like, I was a little curious. It's like, I'm gonna run this on awfully silly. And then I explained the game to somebody for 5 minutes, and I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thanks for having me on. I am Cece. I am cc.gay on Twitch and the internet. Also, shout out to the Frame Fatales, like I mentioned. Great community. I ran this at Flame recently. They're really supportive, really inclusive. Also, probably in the announcements already, but I'll say it again. Submissions for Frost Fatales 25 are open. If you want to speedrun, if you want to volunteer, or if you just want to hang out and chill with cool people to enjoy all the festivities, then get involved.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on, for showcasing the run. Like you said, I completely lost track. It's somewhere on. What the? There we go. March 9th through 16th, and submissions are open until the 24th. And I can't read anymore, so we're gonna. Yeah, thank you so much for being on. Everybody, make sure you give CC a follow, and everybody on the show is going to be a great speedrunner. Definitely check them all out. Check out CC. Give her a follow. And yeah, again, thank you so much for being on, for showcasing the run. We have more runs coming up. We have Conquests of the Longbow, The Legend of Robin Hood coming up. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll back right at that. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is awfully silly. We have Conquests of the Longbow, The Legend of Robin Hood here. I'll hand it over to our runner commentary. Let everybody introduce themselves.
Hi, I am Lemming. I am your runner today for Conquest of the Longbow, The Legend of Robin Hood. I am joined today by our world record holder for the low percent run, Phalanx. Phalanx, please introduce yourself.
How you going? I am only the world record holder at the moment because we have we've got only 2 official runs, so let's not gas me out too much.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had to keep resetting the leaderboard due to shenanigans, which you are about to see. Real quick, this is a low percent run, meaning that it is going to do a lot of skipping, but we are also going to be taking slow detours to be deliberately obnoxious, and you just watch. Time will start when I hit play on this menu here in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so just to start with, what we do is a couple of really, really quick cutscene skips. And then we go about doing the tasks for the first day. So it's already mostly done. We go up to the practice range. We don't actually have to do any practicing. Then we go to the overlook, which is where we are now. And we have to endure this long cutscene.
Yeah, this is actually a cutscene we would normally avoid by picking up our hunting horn in an any %. But we have to deliberately not take it so Little John over there can say, hey, Robin, Space Cadet, you forgot your hunting horn. You kind of need that for your job. So that's our first missed opportunity for points. And that's really what the low percent run is. It's a zero-sum game of, don't mind the sheep, he's just a little excited for GDQ Hotfix. And that's really what we're doing here today. It's going to be a combination of bad choices. That negative 100 points we just got was for ignoring a peasant when we were overlooking that street. Peasant, my bad. But there's also just a lot of situations where we're deliberately going to avoid points, even if they would be favorable in an any % run. We talked over the plot a little bit, but basically, it's Robin Hood. King Richard has been kidnapped by King Leopold of Austria, and he demands 1,000 golden marks for his ransom. His little bro, Prince John, is all too happy to not pay that, which means that Robin Hood and pals need to actually drum up that ransom. We do have 300 marks already. Will we be seeing that 700 marks in this run?
Yeah, you want to watch that number because it's pretty funny in the low percent.
Yeah, watch that space. No, truly, ransom and outlaws are not too important for what we're doing here today. We are hyper-focused on keeping that score as far away from 7,325 as we can. So Robert's nearly done with his fever dream here of the Maid Marian. He's just going to pick up a magic shiny rock. And, ooh, what's this? That's
always good
important.
To put a little ditty in.
Don't let me forget the magic rock, okay?
Okay, I won't. But basically then, just for the second day, we just wander around in the forest in a specific way. So that we have this encounter. And you're going to deliberately now miss the slipper, because that's more points that we would get.
Right, Marian's like, hey, thank you for saving me. Here's my call sign, a slipper. Bring it to a cobbler in the resistance. And we're like, okay, we're not gonna. And then one of our merry men has to actually hoof it over there, grab it, and take it back to us. This is actually a very interesting dynamic for adventure games of this era. Other Sierra Online games will absolutely murder you for doing something like that. And even like a LucasArts game where there's not deaths, they're probably gonna just trap you in a really hard to discover puzzle until you figure it out, however many days later. Here in Longbow, there are actually very few barriers to completing the game. If you refuse to do something or if you mess it up, in most situations, your merry men are just going to do your job for you. Do they do it as well as Robin Hood? Well, not so much, but you will see where that all leads. So I talked a little bit over, but we did, in fact, rob a vagabond of his clothes. I'm sorry. Probably the scummiest thing Robin will do in this run. Again, I did it for the lack of points.
We also do it in any %. We do it in most runs.
That's true. Yeah, at least in any %, we don't get our hands dirty. It feels less.
That's
bad.
True. The difference here is that we deliberately, directly threaten him.
That's another peasant that we're going to choose to ignore. We can't farm negative points from peasant encounters. We can only do heroics. So I'd rather just avoid the whole thing entirely. So far we've had four days out of 13. We are now kind of getting into the meat of the game, you could say. So that widow at that thatched cottage, her sons have been stolen by the sheriff of Nottingham. So we have to go spring them from jail, and we need this Abbey Monk's costume here. This is a pretty funny scene at first, and then it goes on for an uncomfortably long time. Now, remember again, now for a 100% run, or even just kind of a casual playthrough where you're trying to do everything you can, this would be an actually pretty involved side quest. It goes through like half the map. You're doing all this fun stuff. You can also actually use your hunting horn to call your merry men and kind of go over a game plan and pick one that you think is most favorable. or you can literally just waste time. We're gonna fast travel essentially over and over and over until Tuck, it's nearly sunset. I forgot to do this thing. So now our outlaws and merrymen have to actually do our job for us, rescue the widow's sons, and in the process, we do have a couple outlaw fatalities here. You can see we had, I think, 31 originally, and now we're down to 27. Yep. Here's another villainous monk. Well, he was a villainous monk. I know we already shot one of these guys, and that was apparently fine by the game standards, but that one you're actually supposed to fight in honorable quarterstaff combat, but I think it's more fun to just shoot him.
It's also far quicker.
Oh, yeah. Little thing that I personally find amusing is the game gives you an option if to accept his combat challenge. You can either say aye or nay. These are actually connected to little hotkeys, enter and escape. So I can just press the escape cancel button just to cancel that monk. We are now going to take a very slow ferry to the monk's compound. It's not going to come up in the run, but the quick plot gist of this is that these monastery monks are actually just soldiers for hire in disguise to carry out Prince John's nefarious deeds in Nottingham. So we have to infiltrate them. We're going to pick up a very particular scroll that Maid Marian asked us for. And we're also going to come across another courtier of King Richard. So we do have to spring him and get the scroll. This is actually probably the one time in the run, really, where we do have to do some manner of heroics. We also have to do a copy protection puzzle. We have to do some gemstone lore shenanigans. Whoops.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is a puzzle usually that takes maybe 30-40 seconds in a speedrun where you, it's copy protection. You go through the manual, you listen to his riddles, and you answer by pointing out a whole bunch of gemstones. We just skipped that whole thing, but as you just saw there, it's pretty tricky and can often result in you dying and losing the run. So a safety save is done by everyone still. Even in any percent, we still do safety saves because it's just not worth it.
Yeah. That was Folk that we just left there. We do have to leave Folk hanging a little bit to actually get on with our task here, pick up that scroll from Marion. We also want that scroll that the head monk is looking at, so we're going to spill some wine on him. So he leaves, pick that sucker up. I think Folk has suffered enough here. We will let him down. We do get negative 75 points for leaving him up there, so we do have to let him get tortured for a little bit longer there. Fun fact, you can actually just keep leaving the room over and over again, and you'll keep getting points docked. So we in the community did have to say, you know what, that has the potential to get really annoying. So we're going to say only one hanging Folk per customer for low percent. You can't keep double dipping those points.
Yeah. Just get really boring to watch as well.
I'm seeing in chat some commentary about Robin's head. It's weird. So essentially what's going on here is that back in 1991, there was a pretty vast range of hardware that could run these adventure games. And because all these machines were so expensive, you didn't really want to limit people in terms of hardware. So you did try to make a game that would work well for everyone. We are, for speed, running the game unthrottled, which because our modern PC is interpreted as a high-end 1991 computer, it's getting a little fidgety with some of them, what's supposed to be kind of more organic animations of Robin just looking around every now and then. So that's why his head is going nuts. That's why this sheep will not be quiet. They're all just hyper-tuned here. Now, that widow is just so happy that we personally, Robin Hood, saved her sons. You may remember that from earlier in the run that we totally did that. So she is going to give us a magic net so we can catch a pixie. Wow.
Oh, that was pretty lucky.
That's really favorable RNG. This little sucker can keep your run going for minutes if it's so inclined.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain what's going on there, but the RNG is kind of broken. So when he comes from the right, like he did just then, that's what we... Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so we did pick up a scroll from Maid Marian. It's a hand code, which is helpful for some of our spycraft when we're talking to other members of the Resistance, but it also gives us druidic powers. So long as we answer the riddles of the green man, who is that tree boy, his last riddle is cheese. Nice. Personally, I think it would have been funnier if all of his riddle answers were forest-based, which a lot of them are. One of them literally is tree. I don't know where he learned about cheese and combs and all of that.
He's just
so
really
once again,
wise.
we are here at the Watling Street Overlook looking for another person to bamboozle. We're not actually going to do the old conquest threat with a bow and arrow on this guy because he can shoot back. Where is he? There he is. Okay.
There he is.
So we're going to get Little John handle it. Thank you, Little John.
All of those encounters on the street, they're all RNG based, so they can take between 8 and 18 seconds to appear, which can be really frustrating if you're on a really good run and you just lose 10 seconds to RNG.
And no, I'm sorry. I am actually doing this on purpose. Apologies to your eyeballs. What's going on here is our task for the day is to go to a fair. That's why we need a disguise. And we need to wait for a particular scholar to show up. We have a whole little code system and everything where we identify a particular coat of arms so he knows that we're on the up and up and not a spy for the Sheriff of Nottingham. We do have to wait for Maid Marian on the top corner of the fair to leave, and she does manage to move a little bit faster if we do this horrible screen transition. Shout out to One Short Eye for finding this. Thank you. And also, why did you do this to us? Here he is. Here's our scholar. And this is probably my favorite point loss in the game. First, we're going to do a spycraft and deliberately get the coat of arms wrong. Perhaps I'm not as knowledgeable as I think. Well, okay, fair. He popped off to the next screen here. Let's do another. This time we'll get it right. It's always the second one. So now he wants us to hand off our spy correspondence, and I'm just not gonna. Just gonna make him sweat a little bit. That will also dock you some points, but here, he can finally have this stupid thing. It's fine. All right, quest complete. So at this point, even though we haven't really done much in the way of heroics for King Richard, the Sheriff of Nottingham is aware of our antics, and he decided, you know what? Guards, comb the forest. We have to catch this guy. Normally what you do casually is use your Druidic hand code to essentially become a tree or move a berry bush, all these different little puzzles where you use the in-game manual to blend in with the forest. You can also actually just leave with the map, which is what the 80% and 100% runs do, because you actually still get points for it. We in low percent have to do a deeply weird and kind of annoying version of it where we leave a screen as soon as we talk to one of these guards, which confuses the game a little bit, and it does just kind of turn us invisible in the middle here. So you'll see Robin appears shortly.
Yeah. This is one of the scariest tricks for me in this run. I enjoy it when I pull it off, but the amount of times I've failed it, it's just frustrating.
Oh yeah, it's when you're on PB pace and that pixie is kind to you, then you really worry about skill issue and goofing up that skip. Anyway, one more side of clothes to let's call it borrow. This is a jeweler. What you're supposed to do is take your fancy jeweler costume and bamboozle the Sheriff of Nottingham and his wife. However, we can cheese the game into giving us teleport powers and just teleport behind a end day trigger. And we're going to keep this for basically the rest of the run. Robin Hood can just pop over to where he wants. But no time for that now. Maid Marian has been captured and she's going to be burned at the stake. We got to stop him. But first, a quick trip to the pub. One more. 5 o'clock somewhere. You must be desperate indeed.
That's
okay.
It.
We do that because the game is going to throw a little bit of shade at us for wasting time at the pub when we're supposed to be saving Maid Marian. That will actually discount the amount of points we get for the actual saving, which is why in a low percent run, we got to do it. I am getting some magic rings that court dwarf folk gave us. This one's going to protect us from fire. The other one helps us with water, which will be a surprise tool for later. We are going to call our merry men to come up with a plan to rescue Maid Marian. For reasons we will explain shortly, we are going to pick our boy Much. His plan is the worst. And admittedly, in Much's defense, when it comes to the Maid Marian rescue, it's not too obvious that it's the worst plan. The next one, well, I'll let you decide. That's the fun thing about the Merryman cast. You do have a couple classics. You know, you got your Little John, you got Friar Tuck, and a lot of the other ones have some kind of profession or skill set they bring to the party. Right? There's a troubadour who's kind of the charismatic face of the party, Alan. There's a hunter named Will. And then we have Aliens. Can you tell us a little bit about Much?
Much, the miller's son.
Miller's son.
Well, just before I do that, do you want to point out what you're doing now?
I'm not doing anything. Marian is dying. And we could save her with our magic rock, except that I actually gave the rock away by accident. to a monk all the way back
one of the
on
evil
day
monks.
4. So we do need to run out a minute of her trying to catch her breath and it not working out.
So
while we teleport helplessly.
Yeah, Much the Miller's son has been a bit of a meme in our community because, well, you'll see his lovely idea that he comes up with next that we're going to pick, and everything he does just has a certain character to it. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, we'll see shortly. So look, Marion's dead. A little embarrassing. Let's not dwell on it. Now the treasure train is coming down Watling Street, so we're going to have to confer with the merry men about what to do next. What's our best plan to ambush this treasure train? Everyone has really cool plans that will result in an epic battle cutscene. We're going to go with the bottom plan, Much create panic with wild boars. Let's see how that works. They didn't get the boars in time. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Oh no. Oh no.
So we always pick round up wild boars as the plan because it is so much faster. Otherwise, you have to sit there for about 35 seconds watching this long battle cutscene, and instead, we just choose the failure option. So
Much is of course a patron saint of the low percent run, but he's also critical for any percent because that epic battle cutscene does take a long time. But if we go with wild hogs, I mean, they'll never let us down. They just let us keep on trucking. Yep. Even though the hog plan didn't really pan out, the sheriff wants to be sure. Let's get rid of these knuckleheads in the forest. So we're going to do our same little skip again. And afterwards, we are going to do one of our last encounters. We do have to take our ransom. We've gained so much over the course of the run. We need to hand off our ransom to a knight representing the Queen of King Richard. We believe it's this guy. Spoiler alert, it's not. He's a false knight. And normally you do some gameplay to find that out. I am instead going to sign the word Gort. What are you doing? Now, pulling up the hand code allows us to actually fast travel out of that whole sequence, hence why we do it, and skip the whole interaction, which does lead us to the final day. We have to find the real King's Knight. So calling on the vaguely... Oh, actually, yeah, you better do something already.
Yeah, this is a tricky skip. We have to lower our speed so that we can actually do it properly. There is a certain point here where you can go out of bounds off the screen. Yep. So you've triggered the... Yep. So then you find the certain location that lets you go up off the screen. Hopefully over to the top.
Don't think too hard about it. It just works.
Yeah, okay. You do it a little bit backwards from how I do it. So
I do.
That's why I was getting confused.
You and some other runners do it on the other end of the screen, I believe.
Yeah.
Yours, I think, is actually more optimal. And I just went with comfort here. Now, we normally have to use our Druidic hand powers to strengthen these vines and climb up them, which is why we signed a Gort earlier. The game gets a little bit confusing and just preloads your previous Druid handbook. Now, we actually end the run on a meme death by talking to this monk. Excuse me, could you lend me a hand? You see, I am nearly safe, but I thought I'd do something truly foolish and get myself killed. So they're like, fine, we'll oblige. And they're going to throw a rock at us. We're going to turn our arcade difficulty down because the screen actually shares an overlap.
That's time, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry, time. Sorry, it jumps up on me, too, all the time. Like, I always have to retime my runs. So we trick the game into it being over. So we take our 300 ransom to the real King's Knight. Exposition Bard is going to say, well, after that, you kind of hung out for the winter. You did get caught in the spring. And we're going to just quickly zip through this here so I can show you Karma. We're about to be hanged by the neck, but thankfully King Richard has arrived. But they are going to point out that we are, in fact, a criminal and that we should probably be put on trial. And they're going to weigh our crimes against our positive deeds. So let's skip through this and kind of see how it goes. These people are not happy with me. Let's see where this goes.
It's pretty funny watching them just list your crimes because there's a lot of things that you did wrong.
Yeah, especially in it gets actually kind of long, low percent. Anyway, the long and short of it is like, well, Marion's dead. I would have really appreciated her input here. But sadly, Robin, it's the gallows for you. But you know what? He's got out of rougher scrapes, and I think he'll be okay. Oh. Oh.
Yeah. It's a little bit dark.
Truly a sad and pathetic performance. but I know you're capable of doing far, far better. And that was the low percent of Robin Hood. I hope you enjoyed that awfully silly rendition of what's truly actually a phenomenal game. The Longbow community, it started off extremely modest and it really turned into a fantastic speed game. And even nowadays, I think casually it's being rediscovered. I'd love to give a quick shout out to Phalanx for joining me here today. Thank you for doing that. I know it's early over there in Australia.
Thank you.
And then I also want to shout out One Short Eye. One Short Eye is our original runner of Longbow as a speed game. He also made 2 fantastic videos, one about the game itself and just its merits of the casual experience, and then another on the history of the speedrun, because they did get pretty wacky there in the past year and a half. So please do check those out. They're a grand old time. Otherwise, I think that's it for me. Phalanx, did you want to shout anyone out?
No, I was just going to shout out One Short Eye as well. All of his videos are great. But the other thing is, if this game looks at all interesting to you, I highly recommend it, even just as a casual game. If you want to get into the speedrun, I only got into it this year. Been a whole lot of fun. So yeah, just seriously play this game.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. I mean, we've had some of the runners actually meet in the literal Nottingham, I think, this past year. So it's a nice close-knit group, and they're super welcoming.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, well, thank you again. I will be on again shortly here with another adventure game that came out a year later. It's a little different, but stay tuned.
Yeah, and thank you both so much for being on. Everybody, make sure you check out both the runner and commentator here. Both very great speedrunners. Like you just said, we do have we've got another game coming up. It's going to be The Adventures of Maddog Williams in the Dungeons of Duridian. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to find out. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to see if we can figure out what it means. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games on Quick Hotfix. This is awfully silly. Before we jump into our next game, just a few quick reminders. If you have missed out on any of our other shows or events, you can go check them out. The VOD's out over on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. Also, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bitch cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support the GDQ Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns, any of our daily content, like Awful Silly and Express Lane afterwards, any of our anniversary specials, anything like that, it really does help us support the channel. And if you can subscribe to the channel, you do get access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays. With all of that said, we do have The Adventures of Maddog Williams in the Dungeons of Duridian. I'm going to hand it over to you and let you talk about the game yourself a little bit.
Yeah, well, welcome back. It's still me. Here with another adventure game. I am so sorry about the PC Speaker Wizard. Despite coming out a year later, this game is actually a text parser adventure game. Looks a little less impressive than Longbow. It was made by a smaller team. All the same, I think it's still going to be a grand old time here. I'm going to interrupt poor Maddog's alarm clock here with a quick game restart. Time will start when I hit Y to restart the game, and that will be in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, what can you say about a guy like Maddog? Well, impeccable fashion, always heeds the call to adventure. We get those points when we pick up a sword. Gotta love swords. We get that point when we get bread. Well, no, but I think bread is still as important as sword, personally, just when I think about what I most make use of in my day-to-day life. Now, Maddog here, you might have a preconceived notion of the kind of guy Maddog is, but I'm here to tell you, he's actually a pretty smart fella. He's an antique dealer and inventor. See? Antiques. But, he's not above a scrape if need be. Now, I'm being completely sincere when I say this. This game has a truly phenomenal and strangely well-produced opening cutscene that goes deep into the lore of our setting. Maddog isn't in there for some reason, so the way he stumbles upon this adventure is truly anyone's guess here. we are going to get those cultists to get away from that princess by pretending to be their god, by yelling "No" behind that big rock face over there, which freaks them out and they run away. So now we can save the princess in our own time. Let's go ahead and cut the rope. There you are. This is Princess Leoria. She's given us some hot exposition dump here. The long and short of it is she says, please rescue my father, the king, from the evil wizard Sarek. Take this amulet, it'll help you somehow. Sure, yeah. We're Maddog. We heed the call to adventure. Now, once again, are there any old heads that were adventuring back in the day? You're probably getting a little bit nervous that I left a rope behind there, which could be the sort of thing that would totally ruin my day later. Well, you'll see when we get there. I love the music in Beats Pub. We do need some money, and we did... there we go. We did offer to give him a new automated beer server. It doesn't work so well. We're going to fix it. It sets off a whole dramatic bar fight, which it's fun, but it's slow. So we're just going to leave a clone here to actually deal with the ramifications of that and take our money for the device. Clone dogs will return. Not all clone dogs are good dogs. There will be at least one intentional one, and anything after that could be a problem. We'll try and avoid it if we can. We do have to give our precious bread away to this little elf child. He gives us a potion. You're going to sense a bit of a theme here, which is just picking up random objects for random reasons in the hopes that they'll somehow come into use later. Case in point, we're going to buy this fella's axe. Now, granted, I can see the utility of an axe if you're about to go on an adventure here. See? Right there. Go ahead and make our own little path here. Now, you may have noticed so far that good old Maddog Williams is a bit of an athlete. He will jump most time just to get to where he needs to be. Couple of limits on the jumping. He will not jump on stairs, which, I mean, that's good advice for anyone. He will not jump in combat. And then some runner-specific limitations are I can't actually jump without clearing the text parser. Why can I not do that? Well, for unfortunate reasons, if you jump too often in this game, it will freeze, and the run will be over. Solution to this, I can't believe I'm talking over Maddog just ingesting a random mushroom we found in the woods. So the way we mitigate Maddog jumping around and not freezing the game is we hit escape. This cancels out the crash for some reason. Hitting escape also clears our text parser, so we have to find a balance of optimal hopping while also finding the best possible times for typing. For example, walking down a ladder, that's a great time to type put amulet hole, go into the secret well. And now we are in, I don't know what they call this. It's red. It's red cave. I don't know. We got to pick up some more loot for later here. Now, imbibing that mushroom, even if I didn't tell him to do it, was there to tell us that we can use it to knock out random Star-like monsters. We tossed the mushroom his way. First combat of the game coming up. Combat is now over. You'll see that as a bit of a theme. A lot of the... Oh, yeah, take care of this guy again. There's actually very little combat we do in the run because we can simply avoid most combat situations. Just remember, if it sucks, you can hit the bricks, which is what Maddog will do as often as he can. That one is especially easy because it's not even in your way. But anyway, we have to venture forth. We're going to go under the bridge. You might be thinking, that looks like a normal bridge. Why can't you go over it? Well, it'll kill you. That's why. Does the game tell you this? No, absolutely not. How about this door on the right? That looks like it has a fun treasure. No, it does not. It will kill you. Does the game tell you these kind of things? No, 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 no. We only have the power of meta on our side, which thankfully I have. That said, the game even is aware of that, and we are going to do a safety save in this room as we YOLO one of these puzzles with a cobra statue. Pretty simple puzzle. Receive yonder snake head. Put head snake. Let's see if we live or die. lived. All right. So there are two solutions to get by, and you have to pick the right path. And oftentimes it's the Cobra, but not all the time. And there's very little visual cue for that. It's just much easier to try the Cobra first. Once again, we have to put out this fire, and there are 2 pools of water, but you are supposed to take a whiff of one of the pools. One of them is water, and one of them is, I think, gasoline, or the fancy equivalent. So we want the water so we don't immolate ourselves here. Now, we do have some ways to fight back. For example, we're in a maze. No one likes a maze. Let's go ahead and use the power of diagonal movement and hops to avoid that. Let's do it one more time to avoid an encounter with a Cyclops. That little maneuver actually saves minutes, because the item we need to deal with Cyclops is across that forest from earlier. But hey, no time to dwell on that. We've entered yet another bar. This one has a wizard, and he does sadly have wizard depression. The good news about wizard depression is you can solve it with a cool tip. So now that he has his sweet new staff back, he can pop into his classic wizard garb, shoot a banner for reasons. He's going to reward us with a magic lamp. Need that. Oh, I put rub lamp. That is for later. Now we need it. Anyway, this place is dead. That bartender just stayed asleep the whole time. Before we leave town, I do need to pop over and get one last item. It's in a bit of a precarious spot, like at this rushing river. So let's try and be careful here. Whoops. Clone Dog? Clone Dog, you good? Let's just not worry about that. I don't want to dwell on that too much. There is a good reason for me not waiting for Clone Dog's demise there. Although a death message will play and you can keep playing the game, which is, very amusing. That does have the unfortunate side effect of disabling my saving and loading, which I definitely need for mostly platforming or just good old instability. So I did make sure, as I'm making my silly Clone Dog jokes, to actually avoid getting a real Clone Dog death. So don't worry about Clone Dog. He is fine. No one can say he's not fine. This doesn't look suspicious at all. So, when in doubt, let's just burn it. Woo! If there was a monster under there, it's not dealt with. Don't got to worry about it. Since we've hit a dead end, let's go ahead and rub that genie lamp, see what happens. It's going to play some dramatic music. I can't be bothered. You can cancel the save menu. Oh, a dragon. Maddog and the dragon talk with each other for a short time and quickly become good friends. Awesome. Dragon friend. All right. This is also a power of Maddog. He's just a pretty gregarious fella. And he can bring people to his cause as needed. Who here likes Joust? I'm kind of fond of it. I enjoyed playing it on questionable websites back in the late 90s. This is like Joust, only terrible. We are actually doing pretty well here. We do have to defeat 3 of these dragon riders. Oh, he's toying with me. Sometimes they give you a really favorable outcome, and other times you're dogfighting. All right, woo-hoo, first try. That can take a while, so I'm actually pretty happy that we sorted that out with a little fanfare. Beyond just the standard Maddog fanfare that plays every time we do anything. But here we are at the castle. I don't know what his name is. The Castle Sarek, we'll say. That is the name of the evil wizard. He has a guard and everything. Excuse me. No warrior can handle Maddog's impressive ability to walk at diagonal angles. Now, that said, I know we've been avoiding combat. We are actually going to throw down. I did get that sword for a reason, after all. So here we go. Here's our victim. And Maddog knows that the optimal way to dispatch any foe is to not look at him at all and just smack him with the back of your sword over and over and over again. It works every single time. And that was actually the only reason we needed to pick up the sword, is that one fella. There will be a little bit of combat later. We will be using, call it a similar principle. But first, I did forget a rope that's kind of important to traverse this area way back in the starting area. So let's just go ahead and do some clips Mario 1 style. Where is that transition scene? It's around here somewhere. Now, let's give this another fresh go. There we go. Won't say the line there because that happens constantly. All right, now we are popping over to Cedric's loot box here. We're going to get his various items. Most important is a scepter, which we're going to use for a contraption into the dungeon. You can misspell scepter here, which I find very amusing. Also involves less keystrokes. That's the thing about high level. Again, this is going to sound like I'm making a joke. It's not. High level text parser adventure gameplay. It gets hardcore, the text parsing here. So anytime you can avoid a situation where you can spare a keystroke, or just kind of do a little bit of hand memory to do optimal typing, our top runners go for that. I don't, but a lot of them do, and it's actually really fascinating. Especially if they have a microphone next to their keyboard, you can really hear the frantic clanking. For example, I think my estimate here was 22 minutes. That's a safety estimate for various issues. By the way, we are in the titular dungeons of Duridian. I know the music kind of gave it away, but of course it doesn't follow us everywhere. We are now on Rock Puzzle. The puzzle is rock. Get rock. Get as much rock as you can perceive. There's another one. Let's get that rock too. This is going great. That chest there we're going to ignore. The Dungeon of Duridian has a lot of chests that are there specifically just to be a bad time. No mimics per se, but there are some chests that do nothing, that damage you, all manner of silly things. Safe here because the stairwell is at an awkward angle and you can accidentally fall off it if you're not careful. Once again, we are now adding more rock, and we are finally at our last rock. So we can now do rock puzzle. Rock puzzle, you just put pail chain, put rock pail, and then you can clip through a wall. Now, fortunately, I've done this before, so I do know that this chest actually has a mission critical item. Going to preload my Tectonic parser. The reason I do this, by the way, is that I can use F3 as a function key to input my last command. So if Maddog's already walking or jumping or doing something where you don't have total control, that's a great time to do some extra typing as needed. Here's what we need a tonic for. We're in a trap room. It is so nefarious, it slows down Maddog's frame rate. But he's still going to persevere to this little crack here. Sip that tonic he found, and he will become Small Dog. Small Dog did get us out of a jam, but he is unfortunately pretty slow moving, so I hope we turn into regular dogs shortly. There he goes. Let's do a quick safety save here because I soft locked here at a big bad game-a-thon, and I don't want to do that again. We are going to give the sequence one YOLO. Oh, all right, we'll take that slow. What you're supposed to do is walk on the cracks of this area. You don't want to put your Maddog weight too much of the tile here. That one's being kind of prickly. Let's try the other one here. Of course, sometimes you feel like you're right on, and then other times you feel like you're way off, and it still lets you do it. Like that one I thought would have killed me. Woohoo! All right. Deliberately not saving on those tiles because it does put the game into a bit of a weird state where the kill tiles kind of change on you a little bit. And you can fix it by switching to joystick mode. It's a whole thing. But it is a, whoops, we did want to actually land on that tiny rock. If you think the platform in this game looks bad, you're wrong. It's worse than you think. But we are going to still persevere and get that. Ah! All right, we'll get there. There we go. You can actually grab the gem and fall if you got some really frame perfect timing, but not something I can typically pull off in a marathon. So we did actually want to fall in here. I just wanted the gem first. We are going to get currented into a malevolent octopus room. Or it might be a hexapod? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, the solution is just leave. Fortunately, these are just replica dragons. They're for dramatic effect. Just pop out on here. And we're finally going to get some good treasure here in the next room. So let's go ahead and open our box. Get a ball and chain and some chainmail. Maddog give us a quick wardrobe change. He was polite enough to do that off screen. He is nothing if not a humble man. Another fight we can just avoid. This guy's not even trying. He's like way off in the corner, nowhere near the entrance. More platforming, not our favorite. Let's do our... Whoop. The fun thing about slow mode is that it also actually has a weird impact on your button reactivity, where sometimes you press your button and the input gets eaten because you are dying before the game can register that you want to jump. Okay. Let's do another save. There's no fancy tricks here. You just hope for the best and hope that... There we go. I would say that's a pretty average experience with the platforming, I'm sad to say. We're coming up on my favorite text parts. Put gem thing. We have a gem, and if that's not the most thing-looking thing you've ever seen, we've done it. We've put gem thing. We're nearing, believe it or not, the end of the run, and before they get us to the climax, they do want us to do a series of kind of bizarre puzzles. They're not terribly hard, but they are strange. This solution here is jump in a tomb. Turns out I think it's like an elevator or something, which will allow us to go into a new part of the room, get some points for opening a door. Once again, Maddog does not do stair jumps. But here we are. Our plot is in the left room, but we do gotta make a pit stop for some loot here in the boss dragon room. Now, as we recall, Maddog is a friend to dragons. Maddog, thank you. There we go. So we don't want to kill him. Instead, we're going to challenge him to a dance-off. His best move is the head bob, while we have a supreme booty shake flail combination here. And we're just about done defeating his Funko-meter here. Just a couple more. All right. He has bowed his head in respect for our boogie. And we can now get his magic armor, which we will need to survive a magic missile that the wizard's going to fling at us shortly. Fingers crossed that we do not... Okay, good. Sometimes that room will just freeze on me and we have to restart the whole game. No such drama there. One last of these lizard boys. Excuse me. And here we are. The evil wizard Sarek is torturing good king... I want to say Taylor. Anyway, fortunately, we did wear a magic breastplate, so we survived the magic missile, but we did drop the scepter in the process, so now Sarek's going to make a break for it. I know PC Speaker is not super great on the ears, but I think they did a pretty good job with the soundtrack overall. It's suitably dramatic. All right, let's free man. Door and input our last input here. For anyone who's ever played Final Fantasy VII before, the long stairwell may look familiar to you. We're going to try and skip it if we can. Let's give that another go. This is the hardest trick of the run, and it is appropriately at the end of the run. Got my own tempo for it. All right, he's gonna make a break for it in his pocket dimension. Don't overthink it. It's the mirror, whatever. Anyway, break class time has ended, and we have done a Maddog Williams. Enjoy the triumphant beats, the beeps and boops. King Taylor is going to knight us for our good job. Once again, I'm going to skip through some of the generic parts of this ending, but I do feel compelled to show you our sequel teaser for Maddog 2. So first off, let's go ahead and night. In typical Maddog fashion, we have not dressed up for this event, and we are wearing our titular pink tank top here. And now let's have an intimate moment with the princess, who is happy about the whole dad rescuing thing. Enjoy the beautiful water, the less beautiful moon, and what is that? What I love about this is that this music is actually pretty somber and kind of good, but we just got abducted by a hamburger. At least I think it's a hamburger. Let's see where we're going with that. Aha. So, again, I'm going to skip through this, but the long and short of it is some aliens have kidnapped Maddog for what I believe is supposed to be a space gladiator arena thing. Let's read our teaser crawl. What will happen to Maddog next? Will he ever get back to Princess Leadership? Blah, blah, blah. Will he escape the clutches of the dreaded aliens? We'll find out in the next action-packed adventure, The Adventures of Maddog Williams in Escape from Cylindria. Good news and bad news about that sequel. The good news is the team made a blog post on their website. They're working on it. The bad news is that blog post is dated in 2004. That said, I do hope one day maybe they put a Kickstarter out or something. I will happily contribute to it. This game is deeply silly. A lot of that is intentional on the devs' part. If you would like to play Maddog Williams, you can do so for free and on the up and up. The developers have released the game for free on their website, the Game Crafters. They have a totally copy protection-free version of it. It's a great download. They seem like a cool group from back in the day. We skipped some other great stuff. It's a grand old time. Please do check it out. Beyond that, shout outs to Conception for organizing this. Church and Sarge, thank you so much for hosting. I gave my usual adventure game spiel in the last game, but do check out our Speedy Adventures Discord. If you've ever wanted to learn more about point and click or text parser adventure game speedruns, or if you just like those games and want to find your people, do check that out. Runner or not, we'll be happy to have you. But until then, this has been your adventure game double feature. Thank you again, and I hope to show some games off again sometime soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. These have been both very fun. It's really cool that the devs actually released this game for everybody to play, and I am actually really sad there isn't a sequel already, but
yeah,
maybe someday.
Hopefully, maybe they'll watch it and they'll be inspired. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's my contribution for bad ending this on here. And appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here and showcasing the game. I know I already said this, but make sure you give Lemon a follow here. Absolutely fantastic speedrunner. Thank you so much for being on and showcasing the run. We do have one more game for y'all tonight before, well, Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Awfully Silly. Before we get into our last run of Awfully Silly tonight, just a quick reminder that you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our Season 4 schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at all of the runs coming up this week on the Hotfix. And we've got our last game. We've got Duck Detective, The Secret Salami. I'll hand it over to our runner and commentary. Let everybody introduce themselves and talk about the game a little bit.
Hello, my name's Spock Rocket. You can also call me John. I use both names across various social media. We are running the any percent category of Duck Detective, The Secret Salami tonight. This is a short and sweet and silly run. The game itself is pretty cute, pretty funny, a few moments of drama here and there. I'm going to do my best to explain the story that we are skipping through as fast as humanly possible, because there's a lot of little moments of humor and just exposition that we are going to be blazing past. I'll let my co-host introduce herself.
Yeah. I'm Heather. I'm John's partner and his built-in commentator.
It is a very convenient arrangement for both of us. We get to hang out and do stuff like this and have fun together.
Yeah.
All right. With that, I will get things started here. Time will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. So our story begins in our apartment. We are Eugene McQuacklin, the duck detective. We have woken up. We can't remember what happened last night. So we're investigating our apartment for some clues here. We find our wallet, we find a loaf of bread, and we deduct that we spent all of our money on bread last night.
Classic.
Not our proudest moment. What's this, a phone call? Ah, it's not our ex. It's a job. We have a client. This is perfect, considering we just spent all of our money on bread. Luckily, we have just enough to get a taxi to the Bear Bus Bus Depot. This is the scene of the crime. We've been called here by our client that we missed the name of. Dedicated honk button. So we are going to enter and we are going to find our client. First, we have to get through the receptionist. She is doing her job. She is not letting a stranger in. So we are going to make use of one of the main mechanics of this game, investigation. We are inspecting her person and things in the area for clues, these keywords that you're seeing pop up on the right. We will later use these keywords in deductions to progress the story. So what have we learned so far? Well, we've learned that her last name is Windheimer. We've learned that this is a cute, happy giraffe calendar, and that today is September 7th.
Tomorrow.
What else can we learn through here? Oh, a note box. It's Sophie's birthday. Good to know. We don't know who Sophie is yet, but we can figure that out later. Someone from Laura is way too loud. Okay. Someone is complaining about their mug being stolen. We'll return to that in a minute. So now, we are going to identify our suspect here, Sophie Windheimer, and we are going to deduce that Sophie is feeling sad because nobody has remembered her birthday.
It is very sad.
I should.
Especially for the receptionist.
You're still here?
No kidding. And the one that everybody talks to every day. Well, it turns out that just by saying happy birthday to her, she gives us a key card to get in. That's all it takes. Just say happy birthday to people. They'll let you into places. Also, all of the loading screen facts are 100% true. I guarantee it. We have entered the back office of the bus depot. Someone named Frederson is causing problems. Lunches are being stolen. We need some clues to figure out who our client is here. We actually don't know their name. It could be anybody back here. So, we are going to pick up the bare minimum of clues here to progress the game. That's Freddy. Say hi to Freddy.
Hi, Freddy.
Those of you with eagle eyes may notice there is a strange amount of mugs on his desk, as well as a gym bag full of salami. We'll get back to the salami later. But for now, remember the mug comment before. Also, we can tip over the garbage cans because heck the police.
What is?
We are sharing some clues to get some additional information out of this very stressed out cat here. Very nice. We're inspecting this computer because we're nosy. This computer seems to belong to someone named Whitlock. That'll come up later as we're identifying more suspects. There is actually an achievement for knocking over every garbage can. It's a little bit of a time loss, but we can go for it if there's interest.
Yeah, you have to go back to the one by Freddy, though.
Mm-hmm. But we'll get another chance at that one.
Yeah.
We'll get another chance at that one. Don't worry. The other mainly run category for this game is actually just trash can %, where the speedrun is all about just knocking over every trash can as fast as you can and doing nothing else. It's a fun side category for sure. So here we're talking to the branch manager. We're learning a little bit about him. We're deducing his name from the clues in the area. Now let's get this trash can while we're over here. Look at these adorable little baby bears. Look at those rosy cheeks.
So happy.
Ooh. There's a secret compartment behind the photo. That'll come up later. We can't get in there while the manager's here. So we know everyone's name here now. We've picked up enough clues to figure out their names, which also lets us figure out what everyone's jobs are. So Sophie, who we previously talked to, is the receptionist. Manfred is the branch manager. Laura works in customer service, and Freddie works in the operating office.
Explains why Laura is so stressed out.
Yeah, customer service, right?
She's so stressed.
Do not envy her. Alright, continuing to explore the office. The kitchen is actually locked off until you make that last deduction, which is why we stopped to do that there. So over here. Oh, hey, a Halloween party. That's exciting. Oh no, it's been canceled. There's been budget cuts. That'll come up later. Hungry? Get your own lunch. Tying into the rumor we heard before about stolen lunches.
What bodies have you encountered?
I love letting that line play out.
That's an inappropriate question.
Okay, checking out the refrigerator here. We see, what's this? A note? Thanks for the food. Signed, the Salami Bandit. That's our lunch thief, the Salami Bandit. We need more clues. We need to figure out who the Salami Bandit is. We haven't identified all of our suspects yet, so let's keep working on that. So we know that this man here is the janitor. He's a sci-fi fan from the stickers on his lunchbox. That'll come up in a little bit. Okay. So, we now have enough clues to figure out that Laura hired us because her lunch was stolen by the Salami Bandit. We use that deduction there to skip a loading screen from coming back into this room. Otherwise, you always have a loading screen because it warps you right to her. So, speedrun strat. Ducks are excellent skateboarders. Try it. Yeah. Put a duck on a skateboard. They'll do great. I've seen one do a kickflip.
I'm not.
Classic. We got a handsome young buffalo here named Boris. A little bit of a bad boy. And over here, an extra gym bag full of clothes. Where have we seen a bag like that before? It looks very similar to the one that was next to Freddy. Okay, so let's identify the rest of our suspects. Margaret also works in customer service, but is currently hanging out in the kitchen with Rufus, who is the janitor. Boris is the bus driver, and that rounds out our cast here at the Bear Bus Depot. So what's all going on? Well, it turns out that Margaret is actually planning a surprise birthday party for Sophie. They didn't forget after all. That's great. What else is going on, though? Well, Freddy is actually being framed by the Salami Bandit because Freddy picked up the wrong gym bag.
It was when Freddy took the bus back.
We'll let the game explain what's going on here.
Luggage. He must have picked
These
up the
cutscenes are
wrong
unskippable.
bag. This happened because there was another bag that's identical to his. The bag
So,
that he
one thing that we gloss over as part of the speedrun here is that we find out through talking to people that Freddy is known for having bad eyesight. That's why he has so many mugs on his desk, because he keeps picking up other people's mugs by mistake. And that's also why he picked up the wrong gym bag.
They probably don't have medical to get him glasses.
Yeah, this place seems like it's kind of running on a pretty shoestring budget. So here's Sophie's opening her surprise presents. What's that? Salami in a box. And a note that's making her cry. What's this about? Well, at first we think maybe it's because someone stole one of her presents. Let's figure this out. So, Sophie received the following. Laura gave her a plushie, Rufus gave a book, Boris gave a necklace. Nothing was actually stolen. So what's actually going on over here? Let's investigate. A letter addressed to everyone with a weird message, calling everyone edgelords. signed with a piece of salami, the Salami Bandit signature. How peculiar. Why would the Salami Bandit be writing a letter addressed to everyone, but in Sophie's present box? Let's snoop. So with the magic of speedrun tech, we already know the password to the computer. The background there is actually pretty funny. So going to go ahead and skip right to the chase. Rufus actually is a author of smutty science fiction. The book that he gave Sophie was actually one of his that he wrote under a pen name. Shoot, I went in the wrong room. I'm supposed to go outside here for this part. I got distracted telling the story about Rufus's smutty sci-fi. Margaret is a fangirl of his books, but also secretly involved with Rufus. Drama. So here we are picking up a few additional clues that will let us make the deduction that Sophie received a silly letter that contained a scary message. What all is going on behind the scenes here? It turns out salamis are being illegally imported from the neighboring country of Salsichia.
That explains the mystery. Western goods are prohibited from entering and being sold in the East. This is why the Salami Bandit decided
Going back
to
to
make a business.
Margaret's password for a moment.
High-grade salami in the West.
The purple-eyed alien is the password because that is the character that was written for her in Rufus's latest smutty sci-fi romance.
Also, for some reason, Sophie received a letter from
We actually get to read a page or two of the book if we investigate every clue in those boxes back in the kitchen. The highlighted letters spell a message: be quiet or else. So what all's going on here? We're here to break the news about the illegal salami imports. We noticed that Sophie's missing, but nobody really seems all that concerned. And also, people don't want to hear about the salamis being imported illegally. I'm supposed to be here solving a stolen lunch. This is way beyond what anyone asked me to do, and nobody has the time to deal with this right now. Except for Freddy. Freddy's a fan. He wants to hear about what's going on. It probably helps that he was being framed for it, and we are clearing his name.
Yep.
True fact. So now we want to come in here. Manfred is gone, so we can finally snoop behind the painting. If I hit the right dialogue option, that is. Okay. The password here is just the number of employees in each department. Customer service, operating office, and everyone else, basically. Inside the safe are 2 letters with different handwriting, as well as a ring of keys to the server room. The game is afoot. Someone is being blackmailed. But why? Wherefore? Also true. Margaret's in a little bit of a panic. Don't worry about it, she'll be fine. We're gonna do a little snooping. Oh hey, Freddy left his computer open, and he left it open to our Blue Sky page. He's a little bit of a social media stalker. We'll worry about that later.
Someone.
Clearly not an issue. Just gonna make a little detour to tip over this garbage can. There it is, Rage Uncaged. A little bonus achievement for you all at home. Loses maybe about 10-15 seconds going for it, but hey, we're here to have fun. So here on the computer that's left unlocked in the server room, we see there's some CCTV footage, we see there's some eBay listings, and somebody is sending text messages instead of typing into Google how to delete their eBay listings. So what's all going on? Sophie's missing because she was kidnapped. Because she was going to snitch. What else is going on? Well, it turns out that Rufus has been blackmailing Manfred to stay quiet because Rufus is illegally selling Airbus vouchers. Margaret is in a panic because she's been providing the vouchers to Rufus. That's why she is running back and forth in little circles up there. She's afraid she's going to get in trouble for that. We don't really care about that, though. The kidnapping's a little more pressing. Where is she? Where is Sophie? Well, we deduce that she must be in a bus. What else is going on? Who's the Salami bandit? It's gotta be Manfred, because their handwriting is identical. We've seen a couple of letters now, and we can do on-the-spot handwriting analysis, because that is a superpower that ducks have. What else is going on? Even more? Yes, Boris is an accomplice, because he is the bus driver, and he is helping out with importing the salamis, secretly, on the buses. What else? Well, Sophie was kidnapped because she's in on it. She knows everything that's going on because she used to date Boris and is actually the one who helped convince Boris into helping. We blazed through a lot of crime right there in a very short period of time. We already know the answers we're looking for, so we're just doing the bare minimum to collect the clues that we need to solve the deductions and progress the story. We're going to let the one and only Eugene McQuacklin take it away and explain what's going on.
The Airbus branch was suffering losses and had their budget cut as a result. Manfred, worried about the financial stability
the number one
of his
dad
family, felt
He's just worried about his family.
into a corner. This is when he became the Salami Bandit. He made his grand plan of salami smuggling and realized he couldn't do this alone. He recruited Boris, since it would be easiest for the bus driver to load.
Boris is a big hockey fan, as we can see.
Discreetly.
I always
The
love
bus
it.
would go through a
The
customs
turbine
check at the
skates
Salsicha
dangling
bus
right where his
station
face
first.
is.
Yeah, like what happens when he hits a bad bump? He's just going to get beamed in the head by his skates.
And loaded onto the bus. This is why the buses always had a huge delay.
This is a plot point that we kind of skimmed over in our rush to solve the mystery. If you explore the front of the bus depot, there is I think he's a goat holding a sign protesting Airbus because his bus is like always hours and hours late.
Was going well until the duck detective, that's me, infiltrated the office.
There's a lot of small little threads that we really skim over here as part of the speed run, but I highly recommend checking out the full game to get the full story. The voice acting in this game, the voice acting in this game is phenomenal. It really sells the story. It really draws you in. It's just so cute and fun, minus crime.
Yeah. And they really nailed the gritty detective who's also just a dot.
The voice is perfect for him. So the fastest option here is to only arrest Manfred. So we're going to let the accomplices get away with it because otherwise we waste time adding to this cutscene. Okay. Time will stop when we fade to black in a few more moments. Now.
GG.
Oof. The noir monologue here.
It is my duty to throw bread to the fine beak of Lady Justice.
I love it. There must be a lot of speedrunners out there because otherwise I don't see why those stats are so low for them. They were very obviously accomplices.
Incredibly guilty.
Incredibly guilty. So here we've got the credit sequence. There is also an epilogue. If we have a couple of minutes, I'll let the epilogue play out as well. We stop time at this fade out there because that's the last point at which our input actually matters. Looking at the voice actors, if you are chronically online, you may recognize a couple of the names. Me in particular, I recognize Freddy's voice actor. if you're a fan of Brian David Gilbert's YouTube channel or old Polygon videos. Once you know it's him, you can tell, but until then, I had no idea it was him.
You're right. I didn't know it, played it, and then after that, I can't unhear it.
For those of you listening in at home, we will get to experience a little more Freddy time right here.
I completely forgot to collect my payment from Laura. Everybody already went home. How am I going to pay for the bus? Guess I'm walking home.
Who's there but Freddy?
Need a ride? I just booked this one. It's been such a long day after all.
It's all you can hear once you know it's him.
Oh, thank you.
Come on, it'll be fun. Plus, you must.
That said, he did a great job.
Work.
Everyone did a great job, really. Even knowing the full plot of the crimes involved here, I still recommend giving this game a shot if it seemed even remotely entertaining to you. It's so fun snooping around the office and finding out everything that's going on, everybody's dirty laundry that they're suddenly trying to hide.
Tons of publicity.
It's also like a lot of the things that you skip are just like so funny.
Yeah, you do miss some of the best dialogue, unfortunately, in the speedrun. Like, Laura's freakouts over everything are pretty great. Like I said, we barely even touched on Rufus writing smutty sci-fi that Margaret is obsessed with. Yeah, no, it is, that is Duck Detective, The Secret Salami, 80%. I hope that it was as fun for you to watch as it was for me to run.
Sorry, really quickly, somebody brought this up and I have to mention this. Why does Freddy have a license if he can't even figure out who Mungus is?
Honestly, Heather was just talking about that last night during our practice run.
Yeah.
I was like, should we really be getting in a car with him?
Yeah. Like, poor guy just needs glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a questionable choice on our part, but it was raining. You know, ducks obviously don't like to get wet. Everyone knows that.
It's true.
Well, I just want to say, you know, thank you, Church and Sarge, for hosting tonight. Thank you, Games Done Quick, for having Heather and myself to show this game off. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you to Cell for setting this up on speedrun.com and moderating this game. Thank you to the indie game speedrunning community in general. Very welcoming folks. A lot of fun hanging out with y'all and speedrunning games that have no business being speedrun. You know, I think that's about all I've got.
Yeah, thank you both for being on, for showcasing the game. Everybody make sure to give everybody that's been on the show today and here right now a follow. They're all great speedrunners. They all deserve a follow. Yeah, and what a great game. I'm so glad I got to see the speedrun of it. I love this game. It's so good. Like you said, everybody should go play it, even if you've seen the speedrun. It's still a fantastic game, and you should play it for yourself.
Yeah, there's so many fun things that we skipped over. Like, you may think that you know everything that happens in this game now because you watched the speedrun. You don't. You don't know everything that's going on.
And that is all we have for Awfully Silly for you today. But coming up, we do have Express Lane, so we will